As the clock ticks down to Election Day, the candidates are fighting for every vote they can get, often looking for the endorsement of large groups. And Republican candidate Jack Ciattarelli may have just landed himself a major voting bloc in Ocean County, the Orthodox Jewish community in Lakewood. But that's not the whole story. Senior correspondent Brenda Flanagan is here with us to talk about some new developments in an increasingly volatile governor's race. Brenda, great to see you. What can you tell us?
Hey, Joanna. So, yeah, we've got both a controversy and potentially a huge endorsement to talk about here. Folks doing pre-election math are pointing to the expected endorsement of Republican Jack Ciattarelli by the Lakewood Vaad, a powerful group of ultra-Orthodox Jewish leaders. First reported by the local Lakewood Scoop, that endorsement could really make it rain votes for Ciattarelli, cast by a community that's pro-Trump and deeply conservative. Writer's Micah Rasmussen says it could mean a significant vote margin for Ciattarelli there over his opponent, Democrat Mikey Sherrill.
He could be looking at 18,000 to 2,000 for Sherrill. Why do we say that kind of a lopsided margin? Because when we look at other races, legislative races, congressional races, presidential races, it's not unusual for the Republican candidate, when the Republican candidate gets that endorsement, to get 80 or 90% of the vote coming out of Lakewood.
Now, in the last race for governor, Ciattarelli lost by some 83,000 votes statewide. But he won Lakewood by maybe 5,000 votes, even though the Vaad that year had endorsed Democrat Phil Murphy. And the Orthodox Haredi voting population is only growing larger.
Here's the thing. The Vaad's endorsement is not just, it doesn't just carry weight in Lakewood. It carries weight in Jackson, in Toms River, in Howell, because Lakewood is not just Lakewood anymore. The growth has been so explosive in Lakewood that there are little Lakewoods or exurbs of Lakewood that surround Lakewood. In these surrounding communities, the conservative Hasidic voters who live outside of Lakewood proper, but they live just on the other side of the border in Toms River, in Jackson, or in Howell, they carry that endorsement is influential among that part of the community as well.
Now, Ciattarelli's familiar in Lakewood. This is his third run for governor. Sherrill reportedly made her first campaign appearance there just yesterday, according to The Scoop. The endorsement's anticipated this week sometime, and the campaigns aren't commenting for now. But the backlash continues over controversial remarks made by a Ciattarelli advisor that sparked charges of antisemitism and homophobia. Ciattarelli's executive director for Muslim relations, Dr. Ibrar Nadim, spoke during a campaign event designed to reach Muslim voters. He touted Ciattarelli as the candidate who'd champion their conservative values and oppose same-sex marriage.
We want to have a ban of same-sex marriage, and I know my brother voted against it. I'm here to do it again.
Nadim said Ciattarelli would give their community a, quote, seat in the room where decisions are made. And he ignited a firestorm when he complained he's weary of hearing accusations from people in his community that he personally takes money from Jews.
Every time I got hired, people from my community, when I was blamed that somebody said you are taking money from Jews. I said I check my bank account every day, brother. It is not there.
These words are disgusting and vile. They are blatantly anti-Semitic. They are homophobic, and they have no place in a campaign for governor or anywhere in our great state. Jack Ciattarelli took the stage right after those remarks, and instead of condemning them, he praised the speaker. He called him part of his inner circle.
The angry backlash from across the aisle included Congressman Josh Gottheimer, a Democrat who's been endorsed by the Vaad before. New Jersey's Democratic State Committee organized a virtual lineup of rebuttals. They were angry over what Ciattarelli didn't say.
Mr. Ciattarelli had the chance to respond to these offensive remarks, both in real time at the rally or immediately thereafter. He could have condemned the comments, made clear that the rhetoric of exclusion and hate has no place in his campaign or in our state, that he won't roll back rights. Instead, he chose not to.
Now, Chitterelli promised the Muslim crowd that their voice would be heard in his administration and that their community of 300,000 has the ability to, quote, tip the balance of the outcomes of elections. And he did address Nadeem's comment in real time, but he shrugged it off as a joke.
Dr. Abrar Nadeem, just once I wish you would say what's exactly on your mind. Let's hear it one more time for the doctor.
Now, Cheryl called on Chitterelli to fire Nadeem and posted on X, Jack for New Jersey's inner circle wants to ban same-sex marriage. What comes next? Chitterelli replied, do you ever get tired of lying? You know I support same-sex marriage. You also know the full clip of Dr. Nadeem's remarks are clear. He was talking about the grief he gets from some because of my unwavering support for the Jewish community and Israel and his own efforts to build bridges between Muslim and non-Muslim communities. His campaign strategist, Chris Russell, added, quote, our overwhelming support in the Jewish community speaks volumes. But Micah Rasmussen points out a strategic error by the Chitterelli campaign.
We know he's making a big play in Passaic County. Absolutely, he is. He's doing his best, and that's smart heads-up politics. But you don't get credit for stepping in it while you are trying to appeal to a group that maybe hasn't felt connected in the past. That's smart. That's great. But don't offend another group in the process. I think this ethnic event was an unmitigated disaster, an unforced error for Chitterelli.
And as Rasmussen explained, the larger Jewish voting bloc in New Jersey, like across the country, is pretty democratic. Of course, the political landscape's also a minefield right now with what's going on in Israel and in Gaza. So, Joanna, it's very complicated.
It sure is, Brenda. Thank you for breaking that all down. I have to ask you, when we go back to the same-sex marriage issue, obviously some conflicting reports there.
Right.
What is Chitterelli's stance on same-sex marriage?
Well, the bottom line on Chitterelli's stance is that he did vote against a bill legalizing gay marriage. Then Governor Christie vetoed the measure, but the U.S. Supreme Court declared same-sex marriage legal 3 years later, and Chitterelli subsequently changed his position. He now says that he supports it, Joanna.
And just looking more broadly at the Jewish community, the Orthodox Jewish community in Lakewood, obviously, as with any religious or ethnic group, it's not a monolith.
No.
But does the community, the ultra-Orthodox community in Lakewood, tend to follow the endorsements of the Vaad?
Well, often they do. I mean, the Vaad endorsed and they elected Avi Schnall to the assembly in the 30th district when he ran on the Democratic ticket because they wanted a voice in the majority party in Trenton. But Schnall's also a rabbi in the community, so that was a factor as well, Joanna.
Wonderful reporting, Brenda. We'll be following this issue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.